Welcome back to another episode of Wednesday's Winning Woman. Very excited this week. This winning woman is no stranger to anyone. She's largely responsible. I'm saying this. She's largely responsible for building a successful channel integration system over at CenturyLink. And then going over to 8x8 and doing the same thing and holding various roles in both places. If you've ever been to any of her events or just anywhere she is, you know who she is, you know the personality, you know the work ethic. So I'm very excited to get to know a little bit more behind the scenes. So please help me welcome Kathy Mazza to
Oh, wow.
It's
Look, we can stop right now. We can stop right now.
Welcome. I mean, everyone knows you. I mean, so you've been doing good work for a while in this space, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you taking the time to be on the show. And actually, we're gonna jump right in to a little bit of a sensitive subject, because I always start the show with the person talking about the role they have now, right? And what they're doing. And you actually have opportunity before you right now, because like so many people in our industry, you were a part of a company, shifting their direction. And so how are you dealing with this transition? What's going on with you now?
Yeah, no, thank you so much. And you're right. Where one door closes, and I think I saw this on LinkedIn, many windows open. And so, I'm really looking at this time. And my husband told me, he's like, Kathy, it's not the same company. This is an opportunity for you. I've never, ever not worked. Ever
I can
in
believe that.
my
Yeah.
20 some odd professional career. I have never not worked. And everybody knows, even when I'm on vacation, I'm accessible and always join calls. So the last month has been really eye-opening for me. It's allowed me to declutter. I mean, both in like my stuff, because I haven't gotten to stuff, and like the papers and the piles, and spending time with my daughter. It was perfect timing. I had all of these college weekends set up to go look at colleges with my junior daughter.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you're in that stage.
I'm in that stage. And so, I was, you're absolutely right. I mean, the last decade in my channel career has been CenturyLink. I loved it. Went to 8x8 to build something, and absolutely loved the time. I mean, I was, had such a great opportunity. And, when I finished, I was vice president strategic channels. And I met some amazing people, and that's the internally and externally, and had some really awesome things. So, I'm looking at what that next step is, and I'm really excited. I'm talking to some incredible organizations, and, looking at what that next is for me. And my husband's even told me, he's like, please don't just jump, take this time, spend this time for yourself.
That's good advice.
And believe me, if I could win the lottery, I wouldn't go back to work. But I don't play the lottery, so it's about that time. It's about that time.
Yeah, well, that's good advice. And I agree with your husband. You have an opportunity, and this is not a negative against anyone, but you have an opportunity before you. Even like you said, that door closed, but you are extremely well known, liked, appreciated, and respected for what you've done in this space. So you are in a situation where you can look at opportunities and not just jump, right? I mean, pick something that works for you and matches where you are. And his daughter is also visiting colleges right now and going through that. She's finishing up her senior year of high school. So I understand that trek as well.
Yeah, it's a big transition. I like it. That's defined me. I mean, my work and being a mother and a wife, that's defined me.
So speaking of what defines you, like I said, you've done had a lot of success at CenturyLink, a lot of success at 8x8, a lot of success in this industry, and success of getting your daughter through high school and prepping her for college and all that. But what's one accomplishment we want you to share? One accomplishment, something that you've done, something that you feel like you can go, you know what, I did that. I did that. That was good, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, in the last few weeks have really taught me that those accomplishments should not necessarily be when I'm clocking in, at work. And I've done some amazing accomplishments.
Mhm.
I will tell you, I have a teenage daughter and she can be a snarky, and I don't know where she got that. I have
Oh
no,
yeah, no
no
idea.
idea.
Yes,
None.
something
Um,
about apples and trees. I don't know, but it would it.
but she recently started working, and she works at an assisted living home, and my husband runs the building, so obviously she was had an entree in, but she
Mhm.
has worked her tail off. She serves these residents, and I will tell you that they ask my husband every single day, when is your daughter coming back? And I'm like, wait a second, I mean, maybe that was that is my biggest success. She has
Mhm.
been not nice to me all the time, but these people love her. So I did something right. And I'm looking at
Yes.
her and I'm so proud of the young woman she's becoming. And this has been a fun time to go look at colleges and what's next. And
Yeah.
when they put me in the grave, they're certainly not going to say, "Hey, you worked here and you
Exactly. It's not
programmed
going to
me
be
to this."
VP of anything on your
No.
tombstone.
So,
Yeah.
that has been the biggest accomplishment. I would say that, like
Yeah.
the way she treats other people, and people that most people are left, like they don't have family that comes and visits them, and they look
Exactly.
forward. Most people that are in there, that's a job. My daughter she calls them my residents. I'm like, you work one day a week. And she's like, they're my residents. So
But
that's
she's got, yeah, she's got that ownership. She
my
certainly has her mom's work ethic, so that's good. And I'm
thing.
glad you mentioned that one because especially I tell people all the time, like the relationship with fathers and daughters is amazing. I'm gonna tell you that the relationship with mothers and daughters is a little. It's good sometimes when you can hear how other people see them. Okay, and
Oh
you
yeah.
right because sometimes I remember a guy asked me years ago. This guy was a new parent, and I really think his daughter was only literally. I think she may have been like fresh out of the hospital. I think she was like home like 2 weeks, and we were out to dinner, and he was like, "Any advice like you want to give me about parenting and stuff like that?" And his wife was there, and I told her, I said, "Listen, I said if you since you have a daughter, I will tell you this: if at some point after the first 5 years, but between year 6 and 14, if you don't literally think of killing her, then you're not doing it right. I said, but if you reach a point in those years where you think, you know what, I could bury her body, and then you've nailed it. You've nailed mommying. You've nailed parenthood. Because
My husband said on Saturday, my daughter, probably the hardest weekend, and he goes, "I do not know how she is still walking this earth." And I
yeah.
said, "I'm not sure either. I'm really not sure either."
It's funny. Sometimes I come home and I'm like, let me count the kids and make sure all the girls are still here after travel.
Yes,
All
yeah.
right, so that's a great accomplishment. I'm glad that you shared that one. I'm sure there's a lot of mommies of girls out there that needed to hear that one. I know one of your goals, of course, already you already talked about for this year is to choosing the right next place that you want to invest your time and effort in. But what's another goal? What's something else you're looking to accomplish this year?
So yeah, choosing the right next step, and it's
Mhm.
the culture, the people, and the opportunity. I mean, I'm really looking for what is going to challenge me, and I think that that's been such an important part of the last 20 some odd years in technology is every move. And I'm me, I stay at places a really long time because I'm super
Mhm.
loyal, that integrity. But all of that aside, I am really looking at 2023 to be this declutter. I am trying
Yeah.
to simplify. I feel like I'm really efficient in my work and what I do work wise, but I
Mhm.
don't feel that I'm efficient in, what I have around me, and like whether that's the stuff. And so, I'm trying to declutter because again,
Yeah.
I'm going to be an empty nester. We don't need this house. We don't need all this stuff. And, I think that
Yeah.
I used to fill that. So I am regularly, I think I've got like 10 things out on the front porch step. I'm like, just come pick it up. It's outside. It's outside.
Yeah. Just come get it.
Somebody else use it. So I'm decluttering everything, paperwork, just my headspace. And I think that clears my headspace.
I agree, and I think like you said, it does allow you to look forward to the next thing, not just work wise, but like you said, you're going to be an empty nester, right? Which means your relationship with your daughter changes because she's not, you know, there constantly, and
Picking
so
at
that's also effort, right? That's also space, that's time, and you want to devote that. We want to put that somewhere where it's going to be productive as well. So
yeah,
awesome opportunity to reassess and look at that. So
yeah.
uh the last one's kind of fun. This will be a good one for your daughter as well, because this is your opportunity to look back.
Mm.
If there was something you could go and tell young Kathy starting out, a piece of advice that you think would help, what would you share?
It's so easy for me because I never trusted my voice. I mean, for the
Mm,
first 20 plus years in my career, I spent my career trying to put somebody else on stage, letting somebody else have the table in the room. And, whether it was imposter syndrome, I just didn't believe I was good enough. But I never ever took that step. And I remember somebody in an interview, and I actually said, "Hey, I'm going to keep that question." They asked me this question: if you could look back on your performance reviews from a decade ago, is there a consistent message on things you needed to improve? Like, we all have the great things, but I
right.
was like, ooh, I haven't had that one. And it was always that I didn't put myself out there for more than I always did more, but I never took that step. And I would say over the last 5 years, and I've had some amazing leaders, I've had some amazing mentors and leaders, JD and Bobby and Chandler and these really awesome folks in the channel, and yourself. They have put me on stages like this to
Mm-hmm.
share with other people. Alliance of Channel Women, I was up there on at the last Channel
Yes.
Partners.
Mm-hmm.
And, so trust in yourself, trust in your voice, and, get out there and be the representative. So being the representative of my organization, has been really impactful. And it's really helped me believe that I belong, and I've earned what I've earned it. I don't deserve it. Nobody
Absolutely.
deserves anything, but I've earned a seat and a right to have a voice, and people want to listen. And so, I remember being on that main stage at one of, the main TSDs, Yvonne, and,
Mm-hmm.
and walking off and people talking forever later, or getting pinged after somebody watches a webinar like this. And, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I wish I had done it sooner. And it
Yeah.
really has only been in the last few years that I've trusted somebody wants to listen to what I say.
Yeah, I love that, and I'm glad you shared that because I honestly, I do remember even early on in your career, you were always the power behind the person,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Driving their persona and their image and the organization's image, and I mean there were those of us that kind of knew how things happened, right? So though right, so I think that group was aware of you, but I think that's a great thing for you, and I do think that's a good message for a lot of people,
yeah,
to become comfortable being the one in front, being the one doing the speaking, and accepting the fact that you do have a voice,
yeah,
because sometimes I think we look at all these other people, and if our voice doesn't sound like the voices that are already out there, we have a tendency to feel like we don't belong out there because we don't sound like them, we don't talk like them, we're not saying what they're saying. And the irony of it is that means that you're definitely the one that needs to be out there because you're the voice that's not being heard.
yeah.
So I am super pumped. I'm very happy that you've become more comfortable doing that, and I look forward to seeing you out here in front pretty soon doing more of that.
Thank you. Yeah, no, Jasmina said the same thing. Along the way, she was always out there. I'm like, how do you do it? She's like, Kathy, get out there. And,
Yeah.
absolutely. And you're right. And I thank you for doing this. You have been so part of, diversity, equity, and including and highlighting women on this Wednesday. I mean, that's amazing because, you know, everybody believes that we belong,
Yeah.
but it takes somebody to take an effort and, to really carve out some time. So I thank you for all that you've done over the years. I mean, since I can remember, you have really put people, and you've taken your platform and helped put others forward. And so kudos to
Well,
you.
I learned that early on, but I appreciate you saying that. I'm really inspired by the conversations that I've been having, the interactions, even with friends, even with people like you. Like I've interviewed some people that I don't know. I'm meeting them because I know of them, right? But conversing with people like you that I know, that are friends, that I've shared stage with and bred with, and all the stuff in the channel. And I'm just really excited to see what's next. So thank you so much for joining the show. I really appreciate it. And for those of you out there, we have a charge. It's acknowledge, support, and promote. So if you're not already a part of Kathy's network, please go and join right now. Follow along. If nothing else, you can find out. You'll be amongst the first to find out what she's doing next, and you can support that. And if there's an opportunity for you to promote what she's doing and the organizations that she's a part of, then please do so, because we grow stronger together. So thank you for joining us. Kathy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
And for those of you out there, we'll see you in a week.